Are you a lousy soccer coach? Are you the reason your team is failing? You're probably thinking to yourself, no, it's not me. It's my players. They're just not performing the way I taught them. Well, maybe you are, and maybe you're not. Today, I'm going to cover 3 attributes that lousy coaches suffer for, and 1 bonus attribute. And then you can decide for yourself. Now let's go. I'm Coach Ben from My Assistant Coach, and I'm dedicated to help make you a better soccer coach. The first point is communication, or lack thereof. At the youth level, many parents have no idea how the sport works, how things are going, or what they need to do. They are relying on you to communicate with them exactly what they need to know and when they need to do it. And unfortunately, many coaches only communicate at the beginning of the season and the end of the season and think that that's enough. That is a lousy coach. There is no excuse for that limited interaction. I'm an introvert. If I can make these videos, you can communicate more often than that. I grew up when phone trees were the only way to communicate to a team. But technology has given us so many better options. From email to creating videos to automatically using artificial intelligence to send out communications. There is no excuse not to communicate more with your team. It takes less than 15 minutes to write a simple email to the families to let them know about what have we been working on at practice, what are the things that we're going to work on at the game, discussing the logistics of the upcoming games or tournaments, and discussing any volunteer opportunities coming up too. So here is an easy example for a soccer coach. Copy it for word if you want. Hey team, here's a short summary of the last week. At practice, we've been working on passing and moving into open space. We've also been working on using proper shooting techniques and striking the ball with our laces. The game last weekend was so much fun to watch, and to see them apply the things we have been working on in practice was very rewarding. Keep up the good work, and I'm looking forward to the game this weekend. Thanks, Coach Ben. And doesn't even have to be that long.
Shorter than
But the point is, you are communicating with the parents often. And that simple engagement goes a long ways. Sometimes you have the opportunity to humble brag about something that you've accomplished. Have you gone and gotten some additional coaching certificates? Have you gone to some seminars where there's some famous coach that's been there? Have you had the opportunity to sit down with other coaches at the club or in the league to have conversations about how to coach better? Any of these examples is great because it shows that you are committed to not only making yourself better, but using that to make our players even better. All right, the second point is unprepared coaches. Are you a coach that shows up at the last minute to a game or practice with no plan in mind for what you're going to do? Or are you a coach that spends hours and hours meticulously planning every detail of every practice and every game? I'm going to bet you're somewhere in between. Lousy planning and preparation is easily spotted by parents and players, and you don't want that. I know, situations change. Sometimes fields and equipment aren't available or unreliable. Sometimes there's a huge muddy patch in the middle of your field. And sometimes there's another team in your space. These things happen. You need to be prepared. And lucky for you, the internet is full of resources on practice ideas. I'll be creating a video series with some of my favorites. But for now, the one I want to talk about are rondos, or keep away. This is the best drill to have in your back pocket for when the situation requires it. Rondos can be simple, or they can be complex. But essentially, what they are is you're basically playing keep away. You've got one team on the outside keeping away from a team on the inside. These can be played all the way from a 4v4 all the way up to a 7v1 if you have 8 players. But the nice thing is, with these rondos, you can introduce a lot of different coaching tips. You can introduce different passing techniques, different opportunities for holding onto the ball longer, working on sending your players to the side or getting them to move to get open. You can vary the teams, the number of players on each side. You can vary the space. You can limit the number of touches. You can add point values to the number of passes. The list goes on and on. And this isn't just a drill that's used by some kids. Rondos are used by clubs all over the world, including Barcelona and Real Madrid and Manchester United and Bayern Munich. Some of the biggest clubs out there use rondos all the time for their practices and warm-ups. With rondos in your back pocket, you are prepared with an A, B, C, and D plan. The third point is being results-oriented. A lousy coach only cares about the results. So, you've already increased your communication with your players and your parents. You've also now been fully prepared for a practice or a game, so you look like you care about the players. Now you need to prove it. And this is where so many coaches fail, when they only care about the win and not about the development of their players mentally and physically. If you're winning every game, you're in the wrong league. Your players are not learning, they're not growing. And if you're losing every game, you're also in the wrong league. They're getting disappointed, discouraged, and they're not learning anything from it. It sucks losing soccer games, especially if you're on a losing streak. But the good thing about that is it teaches the kids to be persistent, to have perseverance, and how to deal with loss and failure. There will be highs, there will be lows in a soccer season. Enjoy the highs, but also enjoy the lows. Use it as an opportunity to teach the players how to get through the tough situation. Keep them encouraged, motivated. Have them focus on the right things, not about the win. Focus on the things that they did well in the game. Passing, shooting, defending. Pick out specific plays that they really excelled at. Ultimately, there will be wins and there will be losses. As a coach, it is your job to teach them how to get through these low points. So don't forget them. Don't neglect them. Don't beat them up over a loss. Help them, encourage them, and help them mature into young adults. All right, now that we've gone through our 3 main points, I have a bonus point for you. But first, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me know that you're enjoying the content so that I can continue to make it for you. Sticking with the theme about coaches only worried about the results. Oftentimes you'll see coaches keep players on the bench because they're not the best players, they're not doing very well. But those kids are not going to grow, they're not going to learn, they're not going to mature. And it's only hurting them. And it's hurting you. You may not realize it right now, but by not playing that player who isn't that good, their parents are seeing that. They're talking to the other parents on the stands. That is going to come back and bite you really hard. It is your job as a coach to not just focus on a few players on the team, but to develop everybody, even the players that you would not rank very high. None of these players are professionals, and most of the coaches out there are not. In fact, there was a study that 53% of all youth coaches across all sports are volunteers only. They are getting no compensation whatsoever. Remember that these players are not professionals. You are not a professional. Every player on the team matters, and you matter. You are making a difference in these kids' lives. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to volunteer to work with these kids. And thank you for taking the time to join us today as we discuss how important it is to focus youth sports on the youth and not the parents or the coaches. Also, please check out some of these other videos. Drop some comments in the comment section below. If you have any questions, please leave some comments below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. And until next time, I'm Coach Ben from My Assistant Coach. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, so I'll ask it again. Are you a lousy coach?